So the Transformers Earthspark panel just finished at San Diego Comic-Con. We were shown a brand new trailer with a whole bunch of new footage. It showed us a bunch of new characters. We got a lot of insight from both the voice actors, the writers, the producers, and everything like that at the panel. So we're going to break down what was said, try to make sense of everything. And then after this segment, we also have another big one. We're going to talk about the toys, because as this panel was happening, Hasbro was scrambling and setting up all the Earthspark toys in the displays at San Diego Comic-Con at the Hasbro Pulse booth. So we'll get into that in the next segment. And let me tell you something, it's some good-looking stuff. I'm actually quite positive and happy, because I was so worried that it might be a very gimmick-based line, but there is some genuine Transformer product there. So let's jump into the show itself. So Transformers Earthspark's panel. So it's going to be an all-new animated series for anyone who's new to this. It's going to be 26 episodes, full 26 episodes, half-hour format, no 10-minute spurts like Cyberverse was. Legitimate full episodes that are 26 minutes. The voice actors are unionized voice actors, so we're not going to have like what we had with the Netflix stuff, where it was, not the most upper of quality of voice actors and actors that were being present. A lot of this stuff that we have here are quotes from the different panelists. I don't have all of the sources of all the quotes here, because it was more just, hey, this person said this person said that. If you want to go deeper into that, I have a huge spreadsheet of everything I wrote down. But so they said that their show is going to be a little different from other shows you've seen before. It's going to be from the kids' point of view, which in all honesty is not uncommon with a lot of Transformer product, especially when you look at Japanese Transformer product. There always is the child protagonist that always from their kids' point of view, whether it be, Koji-kun from Car Robots or Yuki from Transformers Victory. There always was some kind of kid figure that you were kind of seeing from their point of view, and it was less predominant with, let's say, Spiker or Daniel in season 1, 2, and 3, but the Japanese ones I definitely saw. And even when you go into Unicron Trilogy with its Japanese incarnation or its American incarnation, the kids were always kind of the focal point that us as the viewers. I mean, my name is Rad, and I'm going to tell you about the Transformers, so that's not too different. So I wouldn't really want to see anyone complaining about that, because it's been done so many times before. They said here, we wanted to take a step back from the never-ending conflict between the Autobots and Decepticons. There's going to be something interesting about what they said with that later, which makes me wonder about the continuity of this. Having a human perspective has always been important to the Transformer franchise. Well, it's always been a part of it, except for like certain series, some of the best ones, but that's a whole other discussion. Finding something truly enormous and otherworldly and bonding with them was really important to us. At its heart, Transformers Earthspark is going to be about a story of family and found family. Now, this is an interesting aspect of the brand that they're bringing up here, because in the trailer we see that the Transformers are born in a sense on Earth, and I mean, technically, this isn't a unique idea. There was a lot of Transformers that were built on Earth or came to life as protoforms on Earth. Many different incarnations of Transformers have done that before. But again, maybe in this continuity, that's a big deal. The thing that I do find interesting is when they showed the cast rollout of characters, you have the human characters, and their last name is Malto. That's the last name of them, whether it be Alex Malto, the father, Dot Malto, the mom, or the kids of Robbie and Morgan, aka Mo Malto. So you have all the Malto family, but then the adopted Transformers also have their last name. So Twitch and Thrash are Twitch Malto and Thrash Malto. So interesting, Transformers taking up human last names because they are adopted into the families. Just a nice little thing I wanted to mention there too that I found interesting with the cast rollout. The new bots needed a mentor to show them a way to the ways of being a Transformer, and that's where Bumblebee comes in. Kind of has a little bit of a Rescue Bots vibe there, where you have a Bumblebee or an Optimus Prime that's kind of like checking in on them and making sure these new recruits or these new bots are used to being these robots in disguise and everything. So Bumblebee's going to play that role in this. We have here Twitch is awesome. She's really excited to have these powers and ready to prove herself at any moment's notice. She's highly competitive, and she's highly excited to have these powers and grow with them, but she's connected to her human sibling, which is pretty much the human characters, and they're seen as family or siblings. They says the show is going to be fun, and it's for family, and has a lot of frantic action. There's a mention that the best villains are the villains that don't see themselves as villains. That's always the case. I mean, a Thanos, a Galactus, a Darkseid, or anything like that, they always see themselves in the way that they are, doing the right thing, or even a Lex Luthor in a lot of ways, It's just, that's always the key to any villain, instead of just the cardboard, cutout, we're here to conquer the universe and I'm evil, ha ha ha. So it's always nice to have that in a lot of ways. And this is referring to, obviously, the Dr. Mandroid on top of Megatron. Megatron is going to be present in this. We don't know in what shape or form, but Dr. Mandroid seems to be the human villain here with his arachnamechs, which look like scraplets from what we could see in the trailer. We're going to learn more about him. He's going to have a toy. So if he's going to have a toy, there's clearly some robotic element, transforming element involved with him. Let's continue. We knew that the Transformer brand, and we knew that Transformers, with what Nickelodeon's ingredients were, human, heart, and family. Those are the elements of our characters to bring the story together. We're introducing 2 new characters, again, Twitch and Thrash. These robots are born on Earth. Twitch is a straight-A student, Thrash is the class clown, and Bumblebee is the bridge. So those are going to be the new characters. We also saw in the trailer, we saw what looks like Decepticon Swindle, Decepticon Bombshell from the Insecticons. We saw Wheeljack, we saw Megatron and his alt mode, which looks like a bi-helicopter, very animated kind of design for the helicopter mode. I wonder if Nick Roche did that on purpose. Who else did we see? We saw Optimus, obviously, and we saw Elita-1's alt mode, so she kind of has like an SUV kind of Jeep, kind of thing going on, a big hot pink one, which is pretty cool. Bumblebee has a very Ford 500 kind of GT vehicle kind of thing going on. So very interested with what's going to be happening with Bumblebee's design. Kind of also, I guess we could say Siege, a little bit of Siege sideswipe. Just has that very European kind of concept car kind of look to him. Here's the interesting one here. How do our robots feel about their G1 predecessors? Autobots and Decepticons are soldiers and have been at war for so long that they've lost their sense of identity. When the Terrans come in, it's not their war. Now, the Terrans are referring to the Transformers that are born on Earth. That's what they're called. And the mention here of their G1 predecessors, is this part of the G1 continuity? And this is just super far flung in the future. And it's another split timeline where these are G1 characters, and Optimus and Bumblebee and Elita-1 are part of that. And then you have these ones here that are new characters, because, the G1 continuity goes so far into Beast Wars and beyond. That is this just a different splinter timeline in the G1 storytelling? Is this a new timeline completely? I'm very curious where that falls into that. And that statement made me raise an eyebrow when I read it. Did seeing the design influence help how you approach the character? This is referring to the voice actors. So there's, they have different confidence and stuff like that. There's a mention that Twitch transforms into like a drone kind of floating character. Thrash transforms into a cafe racer with sidecar. The sidecar transforms into a shield that could be used by Mo, one of the human characters. So that's pretty cool. Danny Putty mentions how he would have liked for Bumblebee to turn into a Volkswagen, but he's no longer a VW. There was also mention here that growing up with the franchise and as a black actor, it was refreshing to see the twins and the main characters being black, and their father is Filipino. So there's a diversity to the show because the father's Filipino, the mom is black. So that technically makes them Blasian, I guess is the term. They're not just 100% black, they're Blasians. So that's pretty cool. So there's to my knowledge, in all of Transformers lore, there has been main kid characters that have been of other ethnicities. This goes all the way back to something like, let's say, and we're talking main characters, not just characters that appear in one episode. When you go all the way back to something like Master Force, which was a global series in a lot of ways, even though it was a Japanese series, characters like Cab, which came from undisclosed, South American island with a dark, melanin skin tone. So he comes from something. They never, there's never really 100% nailed down what it is, but it's something. And then when you get into, even when you go to stuff like Armada, you had Carlos, who was the traditional Spanish character. And so it has existed, but I guess maybe just not in terms of the Western front. Oddly enough, it was all the Japanese series that had that diversity in them, where the Western series, with the exception of maybe animated, and I only say that maybe animated with question mark because, sorry, while she is Indian, she's actually Cybertronian, that's scanned Indian, so that's why I kind of been hesitant to include her. Spoiler on a near 15-year-old Transformer series. But yeah, I mean, that's cool too. That's cool. It's been done, but I mean, it's cool to see it continue in a lot of ways, and I hope that at least it could connect with some individuals and they could find enjoyment out of it. Let's see what else they wrote here. When we started development of the show, we thought it was a great opportunity to have the humans the front and center of the story as storytellers, opening to the center around the adventure, not comedy nor action, but adventure. Again, it's been done, so this isn't really new water per se. I mean, again, Rad was always introducing us like as a narrator with the Armada episodes, both in the Western dub and in the Japanese dub. It wasn't just specifically a regional thing. So it's not the first time that something like that has happened many times before. So the cast. So Robbie, the younger boy character, is played by Sydney Michaela. Morgan Mo Molto, the young girl character, is played by Zion Bronxnick. I can't pronounce. She has an NX at the end. Twitch Malto, aka Twitch, the drone female Transformer, is played by Catherine Kavari. Thrash Malto, the cafe racer sidecar, is Zeno Robinson. We talked about him before. Dot Malto is played by Benny Latham. Alex Malto is John Brianos. Bumblebee, G1 Bumblebee, I guess in this case, who knows? Maybe it's an older G1 Bumblebee. Wouldn't that be cool, eh? With the new alt mode. Played by Danny Putty. Optimus Prime, played by Alan Trudnick. I can't pronounce these names. He was in Dark of the Moon. He was the sidekick character of the main dude in Dark of the Moon. So that's pretty cool to see a movie actor playing the role of Optimus Prime. We have Megatron as Rory McCain. So Megatron is in it. We got to see a little bit of his design, both alt mode and robot mode. We have Elita-1 as Sissy Jones. And then we got Dr. Mandroid. Mandroid, imagine. Diedrich Bader. It's kind of funny, Bader. Anyways. And we have other people, too, that are going to be in it also. Again, Elita-1 has been confirmed. We have Swindle. We have Wheeljack. We got, who am I forgetting? Bombshell. So there's a lot of other characters that are popping up here and there, and they'll be in it also. But looks pretty cool. There's individual descriptions of all the characters and what's going on. Specifically when we jump into, let's say, the Transformer characters. Elita-1, physically gifted and confident second in command of the Autobots, so Elita-1 second in command. Elita-1 is fair and never overbearing to the team. She listens to everyone and the bots the Terrans look up to. Optimus Prime, courageous leader, forged a new alliance with the humans, blah, blah, blah. Nothing new there. Megatron, the father of Decepticons, who believes that making any sacrifice necessary for the survival of the Cybertronian race. He's a headstrong idealist, but isn't unwilling to adjust his strategy when victory hangs in the balance. So we're probably going to get a Megatron that's more in the middle, maybe. That's what it sounds like, but I could be wrong. But maybe, I don't know. So when we get into our two new characters here, so Twitch, an Earthborn Terran born out of the primordial sludge in the cave waters of, get this, Witwicky, Pennsylvania. Isn't that a nod? Like her brother Thrash, she is a keen observer of everything around here. And then again, Thrash, Earthborn Terran with a cheeky wild child, like his sister, born out of the primordial sludge of the caves of Witwicky, Pennsylvania. He is a bringer of fun and good times with a happy-go-lucky attitude. So there's those characters. Bumblebee, a fun-loving veteran of the Autobots who mentors them. So there's a lot going on here. I'm very curious to see what's happening. Oh, and Dr. Mandroid. Let's get into him. He is a science soldier of war, jaded and ultimately very anti-Cybertronian. His new anti-Transformer ideology, he believes Earth and its humans need a protection and summarize the annihilation of all Cybertronians at best, and for the best of the planet. So, some form of, late age of extinction, anti-Cybertronian corp kind of dude, I guess. But yeah, it looks good. It looks good thus far. The trailer shows promise. The animation looks really good. Again, 26 episodes that are full episodes of 21 to 26 minutes. So that means we're going to have time to tell a story at beginning, middle, and end, character development. And because it's a smaller Cybertronian cast from what we've seen thus far, when you really think about it, we got the 2 new characters and we got just really the ones that I've mentioned, even the ones that might not even have too many lines. A smaller cast means for better character development, which is always good too. So I'm really curious how they go about that. Really good voice acting crew. A lot of cool stuff going on there with that. What more could I say, really? Go check out the trailer. If you are region locked and you can't see the trailer, if you are a listener from outside the United States, I did retweet the trailer that is region free on Twitter. So just check out my Twitter at Protoman. If you're not following, come on, guys. I retweeted a region free trailer of it, so you could check that out and give your own opinions. Let me know what you think. Like the old saying goes in wrestling, don't tell me, show me. And in this case, I've told you, now I want to see it. So show me, and then I will be the judge. But it looks good thus far. I'm excited. Next up, we're going to talk about in the next segment, the toys.